Shalom family, this is the Garcias. I'm Justin, this is my wife.
Joy Garcia.
And we're so happy to be in a new place. As many of you know, we just moved from a condo in the city where we had no land to ourselves, but we've always had this dream of having some land to toil, to be able to grow some herbs and some vegetables and fruits and maybe plant some nut trees and things like that. And now we've been so blessed. We actually have a half acre of land to work with. So we want to basically introduce you to the land and tell you some of the plans that we have for the different places. And I guess we'll go ahead and just get started with basically what's right behind me. So you know, this is going to be a journey for us and for you. We are not experts by any means. But basically step one was after we unpacked, we just kind of walked out back here and we had a bunch of moving boxes, and what you see here is all of our moving boxes. And the reason we laid them down, you can probably guess, there's just a ton of weeds under here. And what we're doing now by blocking the sunlight to it is basically we're killing off all the weeds, all of the things that we don't want to grow right here, so that we can make a small bed. And we're basically going to come in here, flip the soil upside down. All of the dead plants that are on top are going to become basically a fertilizer for what grows next. And yeah, it's pretty simple, but we're going to start with this one bed right here. But we don't want to kill all of the weeds, because a lot of these things are actually very nutritious and they actually have medicinal qualities, and we don't know what all of it is yet. So Joy has been doing some research, and she's actually found this one that's called the
purple dead nettle.
Alright, so purple dead nettle, if you come closer, you can see that it looks like this. And what I heard from actually Carrie Rivera's Facebook page is that you can tell that it's purple dead nettle by looking at the bottom. And if you can get close enough, you'll see that it actually has a square stem. And there is a plant that's similar to it, but not exactly purple dead nettle, but it won't have a square stem like it does here. First thing I did was pick it, and I was told to dry it, and they suggest leaving it in the oven for like 8 hours or something, and I just figured I'd dry it in the sun, and that's what I did. So this is the amount that I dried. It actually was a lot more, but when you dry it, it does become small. But you can make teas out of this, you can throw it in your salads. Yeah.
Alright, so we can just give you a quick tour of the property, actually starting from the right side of the house. You come in through the gate, and what you see that stands out the most is this big tree that's on the border of our fence line right here. And that's actually a fig tree. So a lot of this stuff was left here from previous homeowners that's been growing for years and years, and this mature fig tree actually drops off what our neighbors have described to us as the sweetest figs. And I'm so excited. You know, it's springtime, Passover season, and all of these things are blooming. It's a wonderful time of the year. So we'll just go in through the gate and we'll show you some of the property. There are a ton of bushes and flowers and these viney flowers, and you know, Joy and I, we always think like if we plant something, we want it to produce a fruit or something. We want it to pay rent basically. And a lot of these things, they don't pay rent per se, we can't eat them, but they actually attract the pollinators, and you'll see a ton of bees flying around here. And I love the bees. A lot of people are scared of them, but they're actually really good friends. They help pollinate our food. You know, they bring the pollen from one flower to another, and that's how the actual fertilization process starts, and that's what creates the seed inside, which grows. And you know, around the seed, many of the fruit trees eventually that's what will become the fruit. And so we love all the flowers. Some of these things we might take down. We're still in the planning process, but yeah, it's a beautiful place so far. So we'll take you down here into our little cove that's going along our fence line. I have no idea what these are called, but there are some beautiful yellow flowers over here. We actually had to come through here and cut down a lot of oak trees that were growing up. As you see in the back, we're just surrounded by these beautiful tall oak trees that have been growing for however long. They're amazing. But we had to come through here. We cut down a lot of oak trees to make room for the flowering plants to grow.
This would be a great spot for some vegetables too. Gets good sun.
Actually looks like a blackberry. So you've seen I've been carrying this little twig around, and this takes us back to the first project that we really did here in the garden, the yard area, and it was this. We're planning on putting a privacy fence all around, and this oak tree, a big oak tree, was right on the borderline of where we want our fence to be. So we came down here with a little axe and cut it down. We had the neighbors come out and the kids were helping us pull it down. It was a great time. We got to know the family. And the next day I actually came out and this had sprouted right here. And it was basically the rest of the energy of the tree was trying to grow and to survive. And it put forth this beautiful shoot. And I thought it was very beautiful and it smells very nice, but unfortunately, you know, a lot of these things we're not going to be able to keep here. But one thing we might be able to keep prayerfully is back here in this area, we're going to try to get some chickens. And we're really excited to share that process with you. You know, it's going to be a long process of getting the proper home for them and figuring out the right feed and actually the right chickens that will go here. But yeah, we'll take you to this area as well.
Walk towards our bird feeders, and I love these bird feeders because at Zen's house, he has tons of bird feeders that actually only feed out sunflower seeds, and every single year the sunflower seeds are eaten up by the birds, and then they drop off little gifts of fertilizer, and the most gorgeous sunflowers come up. And every year we're able to reuse the sunflower seeds from the sunflowers, so we're really excited and hopeful on seeing some sunflowers here eventually. We also just love seeing the birds and the squirrels that come by as well. We actually recently befriended a very small baby squirrel, and we had no idea that they could be so friendly. But yeah, he went right up to us and we named him Jerry. So we are excited to have our wild friends here and to be able to experience this really for the first time since we're really city people. So we're excited to share this experience with you. And I also really wanted to mention that a lot of you are way more experienced in this than us. So please do share your suggestions and your tips on how to create a self-sustaining environment and do all the things that we're doing. We're probably going to do a lot of it wrong, so please definitely share your suggestions and your knowledge. But this is the burn pile that the last homeowners left for us, and so we'll have to get rid of that and hopefully have a space for some chickens, possibly in the back so that they can get some shade and be healthy. So we're thinking between this circle of trees we'll have the chicken coop back here, and we hope that that's a good environment for the squirrels to be in. I mean, not the squirrels, the chickens. And hopefully they give us some good eggs. But yeah, that's what's over here.
All right, so prayerfully the squirrels and the chickens will enjoy their time back here. And it is a beautiful place. It's got a good shade from all of the oak trees that have grown up and matured. And our last little piece of land is over here back behind the mother-in-law suite. And it gives a lot of shade over here actually, but what you do see in the back is this large fig tree that is also on this side of the border of our fence. So we have one on each side, and I guess the fruit is supposed to come out in June, and apparently it's so much that we aren't even going to be able to eat it all. So we're looking for recipes of making jams or preserves or whatever. If you know of any, please share it in the comments or email us. And yeah, that's basically the gist of our property back here. And if you have any ideas of what you would do with this property, maybe let us know, and we're looking for ideas. So this is it, and yeah, we're just so blessed and so thankful that the Most High has led us to this land, and we appreciate your support at Sacred Word Publishing and at Engine and Endeavor Freedom. We just love you all so much, and we look forward to seeing you next time.